Okay, so I think we're rolling. So I guess I have to give an intro, don't I? So thanks for joining us today. My name is Richard Norman, and I have the extreme pleasure to be joined by Deb Martin, Grady Ellison, and Andrew Paris. And they're going to talk a bit of a special project connected with United We Curl. United We Curl is an initiative sponsored by Goldline Curling Equipment, and it is really designed to increase awareness and exposure for diversity and inclusion, particularly for racialized persons and persons who identify as from communities that have been pushed to the margins of society. I'm really happy to talk to you all today about a really special thing. I'm really excited. So I'm going to turn it over to each of you. I want to maybe just introduce yourself, and we're going to just talk about the process, about how this all unfolded, and then get right into the special designs that you've all created. So who wants to go first?
I vote we go in alphabetical order.
Well, that's going to be hard. All right, Andrew, go, please.
All right, so my name is Andrew Paris. I'm from Truro, Nova Scotia, and I was extremely honored and I'm thrilled to partner with Goldline Curling on the Desmond broom.
All right. Who's next?
Now my turn, I guess. So my name is Deb Martin. I am a curler in the United States. I play out of Plainfield Curling Club in New Jersey and also Bucks County Curling Club in Pennsylvania. And I was tapped on the shoulder by Aaron and the folks at Goldline to partner with them on United We Curl. And I was beyond humbled to participate in this initiative. And so I was given the opportunity to develop something that's very close to my heart. And I am the designer of the Black Curl Magic brush.
Okay. So, hi, my name's Grady Ellison. I'm from a reservation called Kakushel First Nation. It's east of Regina, Saskatchewan. I was contacted by Erin earlier this year that she wanted to do this broom. I'm really excited and grateful for the opportunity to have this chance, because not too many Indigenous people have this chance at all. So I'm just happy to show this broom and really tell a part of me. Thank you.
Great. So what was the process like about designing? These all have very specific connections to you all. Do you want to just describe what it's been like, the process? Anybody can jump in.
Sure, so I'll start. Initially, when Erin approached me about design the broom, first off, I thought she was joking, and that's a true story that we'll get into another time. But once the process became real, it became a question of what do I want this broom to do? And what I wanted, and what I think we've accomplished, is I want this broom to create a conversation about, number one, about the Black community here in Canada, but number two, about the lack of diversity in our sport and what we can all do, from our members straight up through to our provincial associations, right up through to our national bodies, what we can do to change that within our sport. I want it to be a broom that you can look at and it starts a conversation. So from the top end right straight down to the bottom, there's a variety of stories from my community. And I'm really excited to share that with everyone on the ice.
I don't want to follow that. I guess I'll jump in. Very much like you, Andrew, when Erin approached me, I couldn't quite wrap my head around the fact that somebody was inviting me to, make a contribution to a sport that I, care about so much. And, that I'm basically, I tell everybody I'm like just a huge fangirl in general, a fangirl at heart. So the idea that I could participate in a project where we are designing equipment that, elite athletes and club, curlers and everyone in our community might actually use, touch, and encounter was a bit of an awesome and scary proposition, to be honest with you. But I feel like the first thing I thought was what a fantastic opportunity to spotlight something that we don't often spotlight. And given the events here in America from last year with, the killing of George Floyd through Black Lives Matter, and even to where we are right here, right now, dealing with, yet another, killing, yet another, collective community trauma, I'm really glad that I chose to spotlight joy in this brush and to kind of remind people and to pay tribute to the people like me, like you guys, who show up in unexpected places and shine and celebrate and kind of embrace the fullness of our humanity. We're not just, sad stories to tell. We're not just lessons to learn. I wanted to kind of celebrate the full spectrum of Black identity, Black humanity, and, Black joy. And I hope that this brush will help people remember that there is an audacious joy, a grit, and a grace to the Black experience, and that we can't be summed up in a one-dimensional soundbite around sadness and tragedy. We're so much more than that. And I hope that not only do we celebrate that as athletes and as people, but I hope this brush gives our allies and would-be allies permission to do the same, to celebrate us in these unexpected spaces.
Kind of forgot the question just from listening.
What's it been like for you to, go through the process of designing the broom?
Right. So yeah, I was surprised and really honored when Aaron got in touch with me to do this broom. Really means a lot. I'm just happy that I have a chance to show off artwork from my culture, because I'm not sure that if anyone knows, about First Nations people and that and their artwork, and just want to really make it aware that Indigenous people play as well, and we're involved in this sport and we love it. Also with like Black Lives Matter, the Indigenous people, missing murdered Indigenous women. I really want that to really be known, because that's really a big issue in Canada as well.
That's great. So really want to see each of your designs. So if you can, hold up your broom and just explain a little bit about what's on it and, what's the significance for people to take away.
Right, so I'll start. Let's see if we can do this here. So like I said, we talked about how from the bottom of the broom right straight up to the top, it tells a story about our community. So we start with the Pan-African colors here. Next, we have the shield of the number 2 Construction Battalion. A group of soldiers, mostly Black soldiers, who were initially told that they weren't able to participate in the war, but persisted and fought through, and ended up creating their own battalion based in Pictou, Nova Scotia, so just up the road from here. And they served our country with great pride, despite how they were treated when they went off to war. Then we have here in the middle, we have a list of current and former Black communities throughout Canada. Not all of them, but we have a total of 30, including a nod to the Black Lives Matter movement, which we thought was extremely important. So we have them all listed through here. You might not be able to see it on screen, but one of the things that we were able to incorporate into the broom is we have different shades of brown and black throughout the broom. And part of the reason why we did that is because we want to make sure that this broom represents all Black people, whether you're AKA considered Black or not, or whether you have a different skin tone, such as my son or such as Deb. We want to make sure that all Black people could be represented with this broom. But continuing on, we have three different symbols here from African culture. I have my notes here. Just 1 second here. This symbol here, let me see if I can make this pop up. There we go. This symbol is an endangered symbol, meaning reconciliation, peacemaking, and forgiveness. Next here, we have this symbol here, which is a symbol meaning the importance of learning from the past. It comes mainly from the expression of return and get it. And then if we rotate this broom here, we have this symbol here, which means both humility and strength characteristics. The two ram horn symbolize, I'm trying to hold the broom here, symbolizes the humility found in those who have strength of leadership. And then one of the things that we want to do, if we go back just to the communities briefly, or to any part of the broom, if you want to learn more about the broom, if you didn't understand what that particular piece means, we want to have a spot where we could direct you to learn more about our culture. So we added in the QR code here, and we have in the website unitewecurl.com and the hashtag unitewecurl, along with my signature. So like I mentioned, I'm really excited to share this room and to tell the story of my community.
I feel like we should clap. I feel like we should clap. Very
Awesome.
very well done. That you're a tough act to follow, Andrew. Maybe this whole alphabetical thing wasn't in my favor. So I guess I'm next up to introduce my beauty here. The manifestation of many, I guess, conversations around what it is we wanted to do, what we wanted to say. And like you, Andrew, I think I wanted it to serve as a conversation starter, but also as sort of a testament and a symbol that people could feel, touch, and use. I think in curling, we think of our brooms as our weapons, right? As our, our tools of excellence. And I wanted this to be a tool that everybody would want to use and that would want to channel this type of energy into their game of not only how they play on the ice, but who they are as they walk through the world off the ice. So my brush is called Black Curl Magic, and obviously it's a little bit of a play on the alliteration of Black Girl Magic. So I wanted to kind of nod to my sisters out there who have been holding it down for decades. I think the Black women are having quite the moment, but I think we've always been there, from people like Amanda Gorman recently to Stacey Abrams here in the States, and all the people who came before them, and hopefully all the girls who will come after them. I wanted to sort of take that and say, well, Black girl magic is real, and so is Black curl magic. The inspiration for the design was really my way of saying I wanted to pay homage to all those innovators and vanguards who have forever been in our communities, where they have specialized in taking the mess and turning it into a message. When you walk by murals and when you walk by urban street art, you often are surprised and maybe taken aback by the proximity or juxtaposition between this beautiful work of art in an unexpected space. And that notion just kind of stayed with me. That plus the notion of joy, and all that it represents. And so each of these letters is sort of a take on its own individual mural. So we have a series of murals on the brush. Each one of them stands for something different. I'll just kind of walk you through it a little bit so you can see up close. We've got our hashtag, dignity, grace, grit, gratitude, words like perseverance, words like joy, words like justice, words like hope, words like dream. My favorite letter, as I told you guys just a minute ago, is the U here, and it is the Dora Milaje, also known as Okoye, from Black Panther. And to me, that is the embodiment of a warrior spirit. And if I could rise to that occasion on a daily basis, I'd be doing all right. And then we've got the rest of it: perseverance, respect, courage, obviously the Black fist. It's an iconic symbol of strength, power, unity. And then we've got the rest here: excellence, equality. And lastly, my next favorite letter is the one that says shine, and the tribute here to Jean-Michel Basquiat, where he believes that we should always treat ourselves like kings and queens. And if you wanted to look more into what that means and how that movement started, I would encourage people to do that. That's really it. It's simple. I think it helps people understand where we're coming from and how we want to hold up our lives in these spaces and hopefully celebrate our community and ourselves and each other. And like I said before, I want to see allies be able to do that for us and with us. So it's my celebration of the verve and vibrance that is Black culture.
Awesome. Great job, Deb. I love it.
Awesome.
Thank you.
That looks so good.
I love it. I'm just going to sit here. No, I'm just kidding.
Greyden, how about you?
Okay. Well, first off, I wanted to really show my artwork from my culture, which is Cree and part of Soto. So that's kind of like southern Saskatchewan. That's kind of that area there. as every other area, they have their own like language and all that. So I really wanted to show mine. And I really hope this gets Indigenous youth to join curling in that. I don't see too much youth when I play of Indigenous people play curling. So this would really mean a lot if this broom really got them to join curling in that. So start off here. So right here, this one right here is the sweetgrass. So this is really important in my culture. Sweetgrass, we use it to smudge and to pray, to crater. The peace pipe. So this right here, we use these for ceremonies. So when we like a sweat lodge or something like that, we use the peace pipe for an offer to crater. And then I have, I don't know if you can see it, number 16 and my name. So 16 was my late grandpa's favorite number. So I really wanted to include that into my broom. Now I have the eagle feather. I don't know if you can see it too good. So the eagle feather in our culture is a really high honor. We for our powwows and that, we put it on our regalias and all that. And if you have one, you really gotta have really good respect with it, because if you don't, an elder can take it away from you and say you didn't respect it enough, and you gotta learn how to get it back. So, and then coming down the broom, we have the eagle. This is one of my favorite animals. So from my reservation where I come from, Kakawishtahow, our flag we have, it's an eagle. So I kind of wanted to incorporate that into the broom. And then coming down, we have the sun. And then inside the sun is missing murdered Indigenous women and girls. So I really wanted to have that on my broom because that's a big problem in Canada. So yeah, that's basically it for my broom.
It's amazing. Well done.
Bravo.
Well done, all three of you. Wow.
That's deep. That's deep, yo.
I've seen the footage of all of you, opening and seeing your brooms for the first time, but can you kind of describe what that was like?
Sure. So I had seen the final design probably the 2 weeks beforehand. And there's always a bit of nervousness about how is this going to look on the broom? Are you going to be able to see the pieces from far enough away to really start that conversation? And then when it came in, I was just completely overwhelmed with like how fantastic it looks, and like just having that image in my head that was so many weeks ago, to see that actually physically on the broom, like everything about it and the difference that we're going to do at the rink and on the ice, it all seems so real now. And even those same emotions come back to me when I look at it today, 2-3 days later. So just extremely excited. And then on top of that, for my son to see it. So he's 13 years old and he hadn't seen the final design. And he was just so excited to show it off to his friends or to take it to the rink. Unfortunately, the rink's closed for the season, but he'll be there in the fall. But for him to have such pride in the community and in his culture, like that just overwhelmed me as well. So it was really exciting to be able to share that opening experience with him.
I guess, am I next?
There's no order here.
I don't know. I'm going to try to keep this short and sweet because I don't know if I can keep it together. I was completely blown away when I saw this in like real life. I was amazed at how accurately it captured what I had pictured in my brain. Like you think, like what you were saying, Andrew, you start throwing out these ideas and you have these discussions and you have a communication about the energy, the vibe, and these very esoteric things, and you don't know what that's going to look like in a 3-dimensional piece on what, an inch and an eighth on a broom. It's like there's not a lot of space, and how will it read? How will it resonate? And I could not have been happier. And I think what hit me instantly was that this is like, it made it real, that we'd been talking about it and we'd been thinking about it. We'd seen the designs and it became like a project. But then when we opened it up and I could put my hands on it, it became real. And I immediately started thinking about and picturing people on the ice with this broom in their hands, and kind of what that would look like in the world of curling and in the world of sport, and how that holds space for us. And who would want to use this and who would want to celebrate this, and the fact that that vibe of joy came through. And I think also in the back of my mind was a conversation I had with the designer Damon, where he said it was one of his, I guess, favorite projects. This project was one of his favorite projects to work on, and the absolute ability for him to translate that energy into the brush, so that when people see it, I hope they have an immediate sort of physical reaction to it in a positive way, but hopefully in a somewhat profound way, that this is where we are. 10 years ago when I started curling, if you had told me this is where we would be, and that this sport would care what little old me has to say as social commentary, or as a part of the unit to say that, you belong here, we welcome you. And not only that, we're gonna, do a project that highlights you. It's just like almost too much for my head and my heart to take. So that's where I'm at with it. I almost made it, Rich. Oh, so close.
That's awesome.
So
Thanks,
close.
Deb.
Mm-hmm.
How about you, Greyden?
So yeah, I had that same question as well, and I was thinking about the broom, how it was gonna look. Wasn't sure if you were gonna see everything on the broom, because it's so small. But when I saw it and opened out of the box, I was amazed. It was perfect. I couldn't believe how well it looked, like the artwork looked on the broom. It was just more than I can imagine. And I was telling my grandma and my mom along the way what was going on, and I was showing them pictures and that as well. And I just can't wait to show them. There's restrictions going on here in Regina, so I can't really get out there to see them yet. So I'm really excited to show them and see their reaction as well. That means a lot. And maybe my old curling rink as well. Give them a broom and see what they think of it, and hopefully they hang it up somewhere. Which had really meant a lot seeing it. I can't believe how perfect it was.
Yeah.
That's great.
Just
Yeah.
unbelievably humbling experience. Unbelievably humbling.
Mm-hmm.
That's amazing. I was going to ask you, Grayden, if your grandmother and your mother had seen it yet, but I guess not. That's too bad.
No.
Soon enough.
I'm trying to keep it a surprise. I know my grandma doesn't know I got the brooms yet, so I really want to go out there and give her one. So I'm trying to keep it a surprise. Hopefully I can go out soon though.
Mm-hmm. So we talked a little bit about allyship and having, your brooms in the hands of, others, not necessarily representative of your communities. And it looks like some of the professional teams are going to be, showcasing your broom designs. And, what's that like for you?
So that's absolutely incredible to me. That, like Deb said, I've been in curling, all my life. So, we're pushing 30 years here, and I spent some time even working in the sport. And to get to this place where not only do more people care, but they genuinely want to listen to not only my story, but the story of my community, it's just absolutely amazing. And to have these professional teams want to amplify that story on the national and world stage, it's, like being the only Black kid in the curling rink, growing up, to think, 15 years later we're here. It's mind blowing to me. So it's going to be very overwhelming to see some of these elite curlers with that broom in their hands. And I mean, maybe they see this, maybe they don't, but thank you so much from the bottom of my heart, because it means. Now I'm starting to get emotional. It means so much to me that that you're willing to use the room and willing to use your platform to help just widen our voice, widen our message.
Yep. I don't know if I have much to add. I just think it's bananas. It's bananas. It's just a bananas idea to me that like people that I idolize, athletes that I think are, the benchmarks of the sport, the people that we want to be when we grow up, if you will. I mean, even though I started curling when I was 40, the aspirational nature of the people that you want to emulate or the game that they play, the way they play, and the fact that I guess it's one of those things, and I'm a comic book fan, so I always think of it like the fact that those warriors would want to go to battle with my weapon in their hands says a lot. That they would hold space for people like us who maybe can't be at the elite level, yet or until, but that they would hold space for us and say, we see you, we support you, and we're going to center you for just this moment to say that you belong here is just, I can't explain it to people. There are no words to really capture how touching that is and how humbling that is, and I'm just grateful for the whole experience, I hope that it does as much for them as it does for me, is all I can say.
Let's hope I can keep it together as well. So yeah, knowing that professional athletes are going to be the people that are really high in the level there in curling are going to be using my broom. That's words can't describe how like grateful I am for that. Like I wouldn't think that would ever happen, I'm just so excited to see it and witness it on TV, and see what they think of it. And I'm gonna try to get my grandma to watch too, so can't wait to see what she says as well. I hope she doesn't cry too much. I'm pretty sure she will.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just really honored and grateful for this opportunity to be able to showcase my culture and my artwork and that.
Yeah, that's amazing. Really happy that these brooms are going to be amplified in a particular way. I don't know how much more we can say here, but if you had one, line, one, final message that you wanted to communicate based on, anything the process, what you hope to accomplish by having these designs out in the world, can you sort of encapsulate something? Is there a one-liner that you can bring out?
Yeah, there's a challenge. There's only one line to bring up. What I want this to do is I want this to be, number one, a positive piece to start a conversation that will truly make a difference in our sport. I truly believe that by having this room out there on the ice, having this conversation, that we can create change, create awareness at the club level, and that will work its way up, so that when we bring BIPOC youth to the curling club, that they know that they are welcome and that they belong there, and that this is a sport that they can participate in too, so that in 10, 20 years from now, we can truly see diversity out there in all its great forms.
The one-liner is hard for me too. I guess I ultimately hope that this project will serve to normalize the conversations around people of color, diversity, inclusion, and equity in a way that is joyous, that is unapologetic, that is fearless, that is hopeful, that is powerful and impactful. I don't think culture happens by accident. I think we create it. And I would love to think that in some small way, this project, our brushes, and this group of people, from Goldline to us and everyone who's embracing it, are going to be the culture creators that will be the game changers, that 10 years from now curling will look differently, and that we can say we realized the dream, we changed the face of the game, and it was for the better, and that people like us are no longer unique on the ice. We're no longer the special ones. It's commonplace to see everybody out there enjoying the roaring game with full passion in the fullness of their humanity.
Yeah, what I really wanted to make my one-liner would be just like making a difference and including people of color. It's really important. Being able to go walk into a curling club and, not have like opinions made of you and being judged of your color, just like how you play, that would really mean a lot. So hopefully like in 10 years, as you say, the sport really changed and, includes people of color and, we don't think of each other as indifferent, we just think that we're together, playing for the sport we love and having a good time. So that's really what I wanted to get across and, for this artwork and piece.
That's great. Well, I want to thank all of you for showing up today and, sharing your stories, sharing, the process about how all these designs, came to be. And, I am just so, I'm overwhelmed seeing all these designs and having this peripheral role, connected, seeing how you all gone through this really touches me. And I'm really happy that you three are representing curling in a very particular way. So thank you so much for being here today. And, for all of you that are watching this, if you want more information, please go to unitedwecurl.com and, you can see the bios of these three amazing individuals and get a little bit more background about what happened for their designs and anything like that. And yeah, thanks so much for joining us, and we'll talk to you soon.